I hate to break the fishing news after Ramchek, but I'd like to speak about the ice hockey.
Congratulations, you're one of the 13 listeners of the Real Life Podcast.
We just traded a migraine in for like an orgasm.
Might want to mark that down.
Yep. All of my projects are on schedule until they're not.
A member of the Nation Network of Podcasts.
About as funny as we're going to get today. Listen.
Yeah, I don't even know how to start. Wanye, you go.
I'll make a speech. Rudy-esque speech. Everybody's in a bad mood. I drove over here. Every radio station's DJs are pretend Oilers fans saying things like, "Oh, if you're still upset." Fuck you people. We're very upset.
No cap.
Listen. Remember that show, Lost? Mm-hmm. I watched that show religiously. All the seasons. When everybody else hated Lost because it made no sense, I bought in. I kept with it. We got to the end of the Lost. It's the finale. They're going to wrap it up. My life is going to make sense. Watched the episode of Lost. It made no sense. And the show was over. You knew you were never going to get any answers. And it was so disappointing. This is not that. All our favorites are coming back next season. The German, the little tiny guy with the Japanese name. Whatever cares. The other one, the Canadian guy with all the accolades, they're all coming back. The one goalie that got pulled 3 times in one series, he'll be back. Smarter.
I'm pretty sure we hired Hurley too. If you want to ask for some Lost updates,
Hire Hurley.
What the fuck was that finale about?
you gotta ask.
I've watched it several times.
He's not here, but you gotta ask.
Doesn't matter. He won't have the answers we need, anyways. It is a very, very difficult pill to swallow. I didn't sit down the entire second period. I was fretting.
Oh, the Oilers sat down
and walking around in circles and wondering what the heck was happening. They just didn't have the final.
They had no fight.
Yeah.
They had no fight. The second period has been a Achilles heel for us for now.
Yeah.
Most of the playoffs.
After a good start again.
Great start.
Yeah.
Great start. That backbreaker to start the game, and then they came back so fast. Shit.
My mood after the first periods in most of this playoff have been just like, I'm on a high. You know, you're feeling good about the start. Yeah. And the second period just absolutely drains you. And you're looking at the score of 4-2 going into the third, and you're thinking, doable.
But the Oilers are also shelling the Golden Knights for shots.
They are. Tons of shots.
2-1, baby.
Aiden Hill's standing on his absolute head. You know, all-time playoff performance in a clinching game. Like, that was a fantastic... For a young guy to do that, he just played unbelievable.
All-time performance, what's that mean?
No, I'm just saying, like, if you look back at young guys put in that position, that has to be up there in one of the best games. He was so dominant down low that he was blocking everything, and we just kept trying to force it to the front of the net low. And he was a rock. He was solid as a rock. And so you go, third period, and you're like, all I ask is that you come out in this period with urgency. This is 20 minutes for the rest of this, like for the rest of your life, 20 minutes. That's all you got. And 5 minutes go by in the third period, and I had no question that we were not getting it done because of just there was no urgency. There was no selling out. It was like they thought they were controlling a lead. That's what it felt like.
They got some looks, but it was just, yeah, you're right. They didn't seem dangerous. They didn't seem dangerous. They had the puck for a lot of the period, but it wasn't like, they
were making a lot of plays. Like, I thought there's lots of shots, lots of shots directed on net.
And maybe I'm just viewing it with too much of like the hindsight glasses because, if that Kane chance goes in, we're probably like, holy shit.
And Connor hit a post.
If Ekholm has that one, Connor had one where he brings it to the far side and it sits in the crease. And like, they had a few of those. So maybe it's just more disappointment in the second period and I'm misremembering the third a bit because of it. But man, it's just... After last year, right, you take this big step forward. You go to the conference finals, and you're like, the window's open, right? This is the beginning of something really good. And then to just have a step back this year, like at least if they would have gone to the conference finals again, it would have been like,
Well, they were only 2 wins short.
I know.
And they won more in the regular season.
I know. But at least if they would have gone back to the conference finals, right, it would have been like, damn, we're right there again. And now
it's just a step backwards.
And now I just sit here with like more questions than I had a year ago.
This one hurts too because the way the last 2 games played out where the Oilers had a lead after 20 minutes. And then, like you said, Chalmers, the second period, just complete collapses in both games. The Oilers could have wrapped up the series last night had our luck obviously gone a different way, but just the way to end out, they fizzled out. It wasn't like
agreed, fizzle.
That's what is a real bummer to me is that ended the season on a hot streak.
9 in a row.
Hottest team in the NHL. Make it through the LA Kings. Tough series going into a matchup that I thought was favorable against Vegas, but
there were some people talking about a gentleman's sweep.
Hey, Vegas played well. I mean,
Vegas
can't
played
take that away
really
from them.
well.
Nope.
It's just the Oilers fizzled out. Like you said, Aiden Hill stood on his head, the other end. And I'm not fucking blaming Stu for the loss, but they didn't get the matching
No, but
goaltending.
those are people are going to wake up this morning and you're going to feel a certain way, and it's not a good way, but you're going to have these questions. And I mean, there's a lot of questions. Why did we pull the number one goalie 3 times?
Well, now let's think about the season though that Skinner's
in
had.
this series.
He's a Calder nominee.
Yep.
He, down the stretch, was on fire, and we were remarking how 60 games into his NHL career, he's a bona fide starter.
Yep.
He is the reason the Oilers made the playoffs. There's no doubt.
So for us to sit here and be like, oh, man, Skinner didn't do enough.
No,
like, Skinner emerged out of the mist.
But that's not what I'm saying. I'm still pro Skinner, and we said it on the
let's put it in
pregame show.
context.
We were talking to Frank Saravalli. We said, you know, like we all kind of agreed. Frank maybe thought Campbell should start. We all said you stick with the guy that got you here, and it didn't work. And that you can look back at that and you can be upset about it, but the fact is like they're still our goaltenders, you know. Like,
but like Campbell to me isn't giving me championship vibes, whereas Skinner is a gamer. He wants to go. Campbell in his post-game interviews looks shaky and shaken.
Yeah, he wants to go, but he clearly, like, Skinner couldn't. And during the regular season, the most he played was 6 games in a row, and then he would get a rest. Maybe asking him to play 12 straight games was dumb.
Yeah.
Maybe it should have been, you know, when the series was, when you were down 1-0, maybe you should have just said, we're playing Jack next game. Stu, you need 3 days off, buddy. Yeah. And maybe that's just, or maybe it's just, again, a young goalie who has to learn some tough lessons. Like, again, we talked about how the team took a step back in the playoffs, and like,
what if you just put goalies on shifts? And every 5 minutes you swapped them out. And then you're only putting half the K on the odometer.
Yeah.
You got 2 guys. They're swapping. They can share 1 water bottle. It's not that gross.
for me, like, there's a long list of guys who underwhelmed me and underperformed. Evander Kane, Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Zach Hyman, Cody Ceci. Stuart Skinner's on that list, but he's the one I'm least disappointed in, least angry with. Wow. Like, Evander Kane, Zach Hyman, it's like, how could you not have done more for us?
I thought Kane played well last night.
The thing, there's a couple of massive differences. Last year, in aggregate, Kane, Hyman, Nugent Hopkins, the trio had 30 goals between them last year in the playoff run. This year, they had 7. That is obviously...
What's bigger, 30 or 7?
Well, depends. Metric, you know?
Yeah. So last year.
Yep. But, like, I'm not mad at Stu.
No.
But an 883 through the course of the playoffs, you're not going to go anywhere.
A 795 after the second period.
What?
Compared to a 929
On the other end.
Let me quote yourself to yourself, Bag Milk. You said if Koskinen put these numbers up, we would have ran him out of town.
And it's just, we're talking about a rookie that got the Oilers to the playoffs, so nobody's hanging anything on Stu.
Our power play was higher than the save percentage, Chalmers.
You're not going to go anywhere with an 883 with your start.
I know, and around the water cooler this morning, you guys, people will probably want to talk about the refs because that's an easy thing to do. Did we deserve a couple power plays? I think we did.
Handful.
I know that those there was 2 where they were too many men. They were not too many men. They just were not. If you like, from my vantage point, I'm sitting right across from it. I see this. People are yelling. They never ever had too many men. Although the perception could be there, right? So we didn't deserve those.
Look, Chalmers, there's a lot of reasons Ekholm could be bleeding.
The Matthias Ekholm one,
his face just bleeds. Some people just bleed.
That is undeniable.
Nothing happened to him. He bled on his own accord. He just started bleeding. Happens all the time.
Yeah, man. I don't know. It's just like, it's disappointing. You know, the thing I think that's the most disappointing for me is that this show, the Oilers Nation pregame, it was like, in my view, it was catching a lot of momentum. It was fun. The momentum was high. People were, everybody's coming out to these watch parties. You got the diehard Nation listeners that are always showing up and always seeing them at games and stuff. But I think a lot of new people were gravitating towards this, and younger fans and the Moss Pit. And just for it to end like that it's disappointing. But the one thing I'll say is I've been at the top of the top, be it 11 years old when we won our last Stanley Cup.
And you were partying at the Country Club with the cup.
Partying in the
Hammered
Country
on
Club
scotch.
with the puck. Or with the cup. And I've seen the lowest of the low. And they hurt, man. They always hurt. But this is what it's all about. I said to my friends this morning, we have a Wordle chat, and it's my week to pick the word for the week. We all use the same starting word. My starting word this morning, loser.
Wow.
Because I'm a loser. And you know why I'm a loser? Is because I'm going to put my faith in this team every year.
Good on
probably
you.
be disappointed.
No.
And what makes me a bigger loser is I'm going to do it all over again next year.
Yeah.
But just with a little more expectation next year, just to make it hurt that much more.
Yeah, I can't wait.
it's like what, but that's what being a fan of a sports team is. You're going to have more like this, because I would rather go through this playoff. Like me and my wife at the game last night, I get to go to a game with a friend, I see you guys there. I saw Bearded Brad yesterday. It's just I wouldn't trade that in for anything. This sucks right now, but this is why we do it. And the fact of the matter is on Thursday, when we come to do this podcast, it's going to feel different, and that sucks because I've been having a really good time.
We don't have to talk about.
No, man. It's
listen, Chalmers, listen to me. I remember one time coming in to see you, and we were playing poker, and you're sitting at the table. We're going to play poker in our buddy's garage, and they traded for Eric Cole. Do you remember when this happened?
I don't remember.
I come around the corner. I'm ready to party. I've convinced myself. I'm the same guy now. We just didn't have a podcast or an Oilers Nation, so I'd convinced myself the Oilers are going to be in great shape. And I was sitting next to you, and I sat down, and I went, Eric Cole! And you just looked at me, and you went, he's not going to do anything, man. And I was like, no, he will. He's amazing. He's playing. He's terrible, man. And I remember all the I
didn't mean to suck the energy out.
This is not that.
No.
This is not that. We've got so many weapons. We don't need Eric Cole to do anything. The show will begin anew, and they will pick it up again. Does Connor have the determination to continue clipping along at this level of output? Yes. Yeah. Is Leon now in the great pantheon of amazing people? Yes. Will you start again? Yes. They're going to heal up? Yes. Will it be a better team in the fall? We're not in cap hell.
So last night I was just not in the mood for, I like press conferences. I like after the game. I like on Twitter, win or lose. I like just, decompressing from it, win or loss. And last night I just didn't have, not in the mood. But I did see one thing, and I was really, I was really happy with what Leon said after the game, because you watch Giannis Antetokounmpo say, it's not a failure.
Right.
It's not a wasted year. And you're going, I get where you're going with this, but I can't believe that's actually how you feel. Yet Leon says the exact same thing, an honest moment that we're all thinking it absolutely was a wasted year. It feels like a wasted year.
Yeah, Leon did.
Leon said it's a wasted year.
Yep.
But it is, man. You look around the league, right? It's like, hey.
There's one winner, everybody else losers.
Yep. And you have three of your your three best players have career years, and you go out in the second round. I love this team. I love them, but this is a wasted year.
Damn it.
And it sucks. And the worst part about it is it's a long road to where we felt yesterday morning from right now.
It's a long way to the top if you want to rock and roll.
But it's just it's like a party, You go there, you have a great time.
Yep.
It's 3:00 in the morning.
Time to go.
And it's time to go home. And you're going to wake up tomorrow morning and you're going to feel like shit.
Start drinking again.
There's going to be another party.
Damn right.
Okay.
I kind of like
It's
that.
kind of like you mourn the death of a year, and then we'll be right back on the sauce in a little bit.
Well, and I mean, I did this whole thing last year too, where the season ends and you sit there and you go, God, so now we got to get to September and October, and we're going to do our predictions, talk about how good they are. American Thanksgiving will roll around. I'll come in here screaming they're going to miss the playoffs. But right now, it's hard to like envision like being excited for regular season hockey.
Imagine
again.
being a player. How do they do it? This is why they go to Cabo and like decompress.
Yeah, I gotta go to Cabo.
Gotta go to Cabo.
But right, like it's hard to envision like, okay, I'm going to be excited for regular season because it's just like, fuck, now this team, like I need them to prove it to me in the playoffs next year.
It's like you're in prison and you're on the block and you wake up and your celly's dead. They're going to get you a new celly. They're just going to drag that guy out of here. They're going to bring a new... I've been watching a lot of prison documentaries on
Yeah.
You always watch a lot of prison.
It's
you
cool.
and Mike Fugelberg watch a
Yes.
lot of prison documentaries.
I feel like I would know what to do.
The one thing, I ran into two people today that wanted to talk, once again, not in the mood, but they both asked us the same question. Are you still going to watch the playoffs? And I was like,
No.
I love hockey, man. And am I going to sit down and be there for a puck drop? Probably not, but am I going to tune in and put it on the TV and really care about who wins? Yeah, I mean, I still care.
Give a
I still
fuck.
care about hockey. Do I have a horse now? No. Am I going to take care of my garden more? Yeah, probably.
oh, I can't wait to mow my lawn.
Am I going to maybe hit the driving range and go golfing a few more times now? Yeah.
What do you-
Because it
what-
feels like all we've been doing is talking hockey.
What about you,
That's the
Tyler? Are you
nation.
watching?
I know, it's beautiful, and I love it. And I'm just sad for it to go, and I'm trying to think of things that are going to make me happy now.
I'm very much looking forward to checking out. Like May
yeah?
long weekend's coming up. I'm going camping now. Like fuck everybody else who's playing.
Yeah,
You
like
got to find things that are going to make you happy, man.
I'll probably check out for the conference finals if I'm being honest. Like I'll watch the highlights or they do like the condensed games. I'll watch that, but I'm not sitting down for a puck drop. I will in the cup final because like I love the sport, I love the drama. I think there'll be an interesting story on either side. So like I'll watch the cup final.
I'm gonna get
but
really into pickleball.
why
I
not?
don't even really like the NHL as a whole. I only like the Oilers.
I saw pickleball,
Fair.
but
real.
spike ball as well, like combined.
See, we
You
need
play-
some activities, Chalmers.
Slam ball?
Dude, we should go do that.
Yeah, 100%. Now I'm getting fired up.
I want to go golfing. We should do a real life tea time.
We should do. So we got to go back to disc golf. We got to do that again. I feel like we left a lot on the table there. It was our first time. You know, we all
It
kind of
was
sucked
windy.
except for Tyler
The videographer quit his job.
because of that.
Filmed it, and it was so terrible, he quit. And it never came out. And I was like, where'd that video go of you guys going playing Frisbee golf? You're like, the guy took it with him.
Yeah.
The other side. Rest in peace.
yeah. Yeah. Sad day.
Life goes on. Young Oiler fans, you're gonna want to like give up. Like, there's a lot of people that just fair weathers give up. Don't give up because it feels so much better when it finally happens.
Yeah.
Is that
And it will.
11-year-old you talking? As he drank out of the cup?
No, but-
with a cigar and Mark
but
Messier
listen.
having him on his shoulders?
After the cup run in 06, there was a time probably between 08 and 2012 where I was not that invested.
I remember those days.
Yeah, and it was, and I was like, fuck this is just not worth it.
It's good to have you back. Now your heart's broken like the rest of us.
Yeah,
I had Sean Bell on Oilers Nation every day.
He's good.
After every game.
He's really good.
And it was funny and like kind of heartwarming today to have him come in and he's like bummed out. And like this guy that played for the team and he was like, man, this is like the first time I can remember caring. He was
Yeah.
like, I watched the game last night. He's like, and I was like a fan. I was cheering and I was nervous and they lost and I was sad. And he was like, what a feeling. it's
And were you like, well, Sean, you're bad luck. Stop it.
yeah, Bellsy, you're gone, buddy. I'm sorry.
I need you to be professional, bud.
But, you know, and these playoff runs, you're right. They're fair weather fans that'll come and go. But every playoff run, I think, also brings in, you know, if you take 100 fair weather fans, 8 of them stick and are like diehards. And
I
that's
saw a
how
guy on Jasper Ave wearing a McDavid jersey 20 minutes ago. I said, you know what? That's either a man who's certifiably insane
or he hasn't been home yet.
Oh yeah,
from
walk
last
of
night.
shame maybe.
or a hell of an Oilers fan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The experience from the game last night, boys, was it like
It was
yours the same as mine? Just on the edge of your seat, first period, electric in the building, obviously 2
So
goals in the
loud,
first minute. Crazy. What did you guys think when you heard the starting lineup announced?
in what respect?
Well, they started Fogle, Ryan, and McLeod, and
Because
I'm
the night started their fourth line.
okay, but
Everybody
why
got
not?
to hear their name on the scoreboard.
Right. I was a little thrown off. I was like, okay, this is an early message from Woody, right? Say, this line's been pretty good last couple games. Maybe they go out and they set the tempo, which they absolutely did not. But then the big guns come out, they get it right back. First period felt awesome. Vibes were high in there, but it was the tension in that building at the end of the second into the third, and then
Yeah.
for the whole third was just something I hadn't felt in a long
The
time.
first goal. So it's like, let's go. Everybody's going wild, and like the chants are on.
Yeah.
And they scored, and it was literally like they took a.
I don't know if Oilers fans got the memo. That was one hell of an anthem. Minimal cheering between each verse.
I actually
It
heard
was
it.
electric. I got goosebumps. It was awesome.
It was funny for me, like how my BPP changed as the night. It was
Mine too.
always constant,
Yeah.
solid 2. But first period, celebratory BPP. Second period, nervous, sad. Third period, fucking angry.
I had my BP was also 2. Got to the seats every single time, 2 Ryan Cokes in hand. First period, done by the end of the period. Second period, I'm walking out with 1, just finishing it up before I go get my next 2. Third period, I left the game with a full 1. It was just was too tense, too on the edge of my seat.
He got it in a to-go bag.
Yeah, what'd you do with
I
it?
just poured it in his
I drank
pocket.
it. Well, we went and mingled we stuck around. I mean, it's regardless of how the feeling ends, that place is
Were you in that fancy home builder lounge?
no. I
Where
was
do you stick around? Where do you stay?
Well, I went up to meet some friends.
So at the main concourse bars?
No, we went up to the suite.
Whoa.
And just looking down at the ice, I mean, it's like this is you just got to reflect on it, man. This is like the best place on earth for us.
It's so great. But
Who
then
had a
at the
suite?
same
Harry
point-
Styles? Who you know? What you know?
No,
who it
don't
be?
worry about
Who
it.
it is?
Game ended.
Motherfuck.
Tyler and I got up, down the stairs, and out like that. We were gone.
Yeah, and if there wasn't a comfortable place to hang, we probably would have too. We were definitely sticking around to salute the Oilers after the handshake. You know, you gotta show them your appreciation. And we would probably go right after that too. But going up and just looking down at the ice and being like, man, like you can have some of the best times of your life in here, and this is not one of
You're
them.
very reflective today.
That's all you can do. Like it's really all you can do because
I just feel dead and sad.
the stress was high. People were arguing in the stands. Like it was not a fun way to be experiencing it. So I don't want to walk into a paint store or the Home Depot and just be pissed off. So you got to reflect so that you can be a genuinely nice member of society still after a huge.
What?
I mean, what else disappoints you in a year like this?
Nothing. Eric Cole,
Think
perhaps.
about it. You get fired from your job is about
Whatever.
is one.
Nope.
Wife
You can't
leaves
fire
you.
me. I had a
Your
victim.
wife leaves you.
I had a victim
I mean,
from the
those
building.
are like pretty devastating
Get
things.
fired, wife and kids leave, Oilers eliminated by Vegas.
Yep.
That'd be a pretty
At
shitty
home, though.
year.
At home.
Hit by a car.
Obviously, those things are
wanna get
very
hit by a car?
devastating.
I don't wanna get hit by a
But when
car.
it
Could
comes
result
to
in
things you
financial
do
gain.
to yourself, things that you actively put this much pressure on yourself to like and to love and to invest in.
I went home and I wanted to do nothing involving the Oilers. So I sat outside in a lawn chair, drank a beer, and listened to 36 Chambers by the Wu-Tang.
Oh, Wu-Tang.
Wow.
We all have our process, man.
Wow.
We all have our
fuck.
process.
I was upset. Still, it hurts.
Society will bounce back. They think Tom Cruise and Shakira might be an item. They met at the Grand Prix.
Ooh, Shakira.
Come on.
Hips
There's
don't
things
lie.
to smile about. Shit.
Hockey.
John Morant can't get off Instagram Live.
Rihanna named her kid Rizza, for God's sakes. That's
Yeah.
got to crack a smile.
To be fair with John Morant,
Oh,
he
that gun could have flown in through the window. He caught it,
He
saving
didn't
the life
know
of the
that dude
driver.
was going to turn the camera right at that very moment. He was
Bro,
holding
just
up the
stop
gun.
carrying guns. You make $200 million.
We love to dance with guns. I get it. I'm
just-
a huge fan.
He forgot
of
to
dancing
tell
with
his
guns.
buddy, "Don't turn the camera on me while I'm holding the gun."
Ultimately,
up."
the
I'm
thing
starting
that
to-
most upset me about last night's loss is that I was really looking forward to jumping on Oilers Nation After Dark with a
gat?
gun.
Yeah, man.
You know?
I'm starting to think that 20-minute court-ordered anti-gun training they put John Morant through, I'm starting to think it didn't work. I'm starting to think it didn't work and that didn't cure the problem.
That is shocking.
Shocking.
Thought for sure 20 minutes would make you hate not
He
want to
said
carry
it
a
in an
gun
interview.
anymore.
That's not what I'm about. It is what he's about.
Yeah, no,
He lied about what he's about.
and yeah, double Caesars at the Oilers game isn't what bagged milk's about either.
Nope.
Yeah.
Son of a gun, they always draw him back in.
Dang it.
You're just hanging out the window with a gun going down 118th, eh? Oh, he's got a gun.
20-minute double Caesar rehabilitation.
Yeah, I was going to do a B cast last night. I was strapped up, ready to fire some off into the night sky.
You
but-
should get a gun for beat casts.
Yeah.
You ever done a desk pop? Probably one of my favorite scenes in any movie. Oh, well, that's nice. Good we can laugh.
Yep.
Gotta laugh.
Good we can laugh.
Now the hockey season is done, so our attention shifts to summer vacation. Our friends at AMA Travel can help you out. If you're looking to plan something, go to amatravel.ca/dreams. You fill out a little survey, and then they just give you like 8 trips that they've fully planned, and you just click which one you want. That's innovation right there. That is innovation. Shout out to our friends at AMA Travel. Yeah, I mean, summertime. You said it. Golfing.
I
was not kidding.
I am really weirdly, and I mentioned this a little earlier, but into gardening right now.
Yeah.
What are you growing?
Like tomatoes, peppers, cucumbers, carrots, peas. Made a little trellis with my son.
Saw that on
The
Insta. He's
Saw
like
that.
quite
I
the
mean,
man.
it's just a good time. I don't know what's gotten over me. Maybe it's just that like life can be stressful, and this is not. It's very relaxing.
complete opposite, in fact.
Yeah, I find myself just like staring at them after I water them, being like,
You're my baby.
and then having to remember, oh, they're not just gonna like grow in front of your face. You can go do something else. Like
I wasn't kidding. Like, I am actually very excited to get home and mow my lawn. I love it. It's just throw in my headphones, mow my lawn. I sit there, pad of paper. I draw out things I want to do landscaping wise in my backyard. I'm like, okay, if I put something there and if I corner that off. It's
I can
just
hear
the
this
best.
podcast aging. We used to be from the streets.
I don't sound
I used
like
to
a
ride in a car with Jamarant with my gat, and I have to listen to this shit.
I'm looking for stuff to pull up my gun.
Yeah.
Oh, can you share? I don't know if you want to
my
tell
toe story.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
I told this
I'll
at my
do it
family
quickly.
dinner yesterday.
I'm gonna say that just topped off with the cherry on top of the Oilers losing. This has not been a great weekend. On Friday afternoon, I went out to a cabin to meet some people, and I stubbed my toe on a big timber.
Oh, no.
And it continued to hurt. I didn't think much of it. I look down and I see what I believe to be a sliver, a big sliver, lodged in right above my nail.
Oh, my God, it is the nail.
So I have that thing, if any of you have this thing where you now know that something's in your body, you must get it out. So I grab the X-Acto knife, I
will
grab
to
the
live?
tweezers, and I start going to town for an hour.
Wait.
I soak my foot. Over time, it took an hour. I soak my foot. I'm searching how to do this. I'm trying to pull it out. It's not coming out. It really, really hurts. And I resign my fact that I'm not going to be able to get this out. So I call my family doctor. I drive into town. I go meet him. He says, we got to send you for an x-ray. And I'm like, can you just put the tweezers on it and give it a good pull? And he goes out to town at it for about 2 minutes, and I am dying. But he can't get it out. So he goes, you got to go to emergency. They've got to freeze your toe. That's the only way they're going to get it out. It's lodged in between like bone and cartilage. So I say, well, there's no Oilers game. I will do it tomorrow.
Oh,
my
you're a warrior.
So
This
I
is
watched.
last night?
This is Friday night. So I watched the Oilers game. I wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning and I head to the Misericordia Hospital, where I sit for 4.5 hours before being called in. I get called in. They say we must take an x-ray. But before we go do the x-ray, let's freeze your foot so that the freezing will kick in. We then can pull the sliver out. 2 giant needles, both sides. I can feel them. They go in like a half an inch each side. I hate needles. I am dying. So we go for the x-ray. I come back. Hour later, she comes in. She says, so are you sure you have a sliver in there? Because we can't see a sliver on the x-ray. And I said, well, what is that? The brown thing at the top. She goes, well, your toe is really broken, and we believe it to be an open compound fracture, and that was the bone. Oh! I was digging at the bone.
Oh, no. You spent 2 days trying to pull your bone out of your foot.
You can't pull the bone out of the bone. No wonder it hurts so bad.
So I say to them, okay, so what do we got to do? She says, well, we're going to get you on an
We're taking you to
IV
the morgue.
antibiotics like stat so that it doesn't get infected, and we're going to get an orthopedic surgeon in here. And I'm like, okay, like another needle. She had just given me a tetanus shot. That's 3 needles now, and I am super afraid of needles. And I'm like, okay, so 1 more needle? Like, are you kidding me? I've been here for 7 hours now, and an orthopedic surgeon, and I can't get released. So anyways, I say, just give me, I said, nope, not today. Just give me antibiotics orally. I'll take them for a week. And they go, okay, fine. The orthopedic surgeon comes in and wants to give me like an air boot for a toe up to my like shin. What do you think I said
You
to him?
barely even have a Band-Aid on this.
I have one little Band-Aid on there with a pair of sandals. I say, not today. So I'm on antibiotics now. It does not hurt, which is like crazy. But
I can't believe you're digging around in your toe
no,
bone.
don't say it again.
This reminds me of when Mama June from Honey Boo Boo got
so
to Sugarfoot. Remember
Yeah,
Sugarfoot?
of course. Yep.
What's Sugarfoot?
I don't know. Mama June had like a weird injury
she-
to her foot.
Yeah.
It was like rotting. You could smell it.
Yeah, and there's like flies and shit on
Yeah,
it.
Sugarfoot.
No, so my toe, so just update. I clean it. I bandage it. I'm on antibiotics. It's super clean. It does not hurt. It feels fine. It doesn't even hurt to touch. Like,
Is your toe gonna grow out all weird?
No, they said literally in a week you come back. We'll take another x-ray, and if it's closed up and you don't show signs of any type of infection, you're fine. And they said usually you would know in a couple days, and I feel great.
Were you greased when you stubbed that
No,
thing?
not at all. It was like 11 in the afternoon.
Just
And
walking
I have
around?
stubbed my toe quite a bit. I wear sandals a lot, and this was not during work. So don't give me this. You can't work in sandals type thing.
Occupational health and safety.
I-
Bullshit.
I've probably broke my toe upwards of like 5 or 6 times.
This is one of the wildest stories
So-
I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Listening to that again, knowing the end of it almost made it worse because the whole time I'm like, oh, I know the punchline. Like, it sucks. It's so gross.
Rooting around in there to pull out the splinter.
God, this splinter, it feels like it's attached to me.
Oh no, it wouldn't budge. It was, it's
shit.
really stupid. So don't be a self-doctor, I think is the moral of this story. Just go see somebody.
Yep.
7.5 hours in the emergency room will
quite a
put you
wait.
in some kind of mood though.
Yeah. You see any craziness in there?
Oh yeah.
Like what?
Like a guy multiple times falling off of his chair because he was pretty messed up. Just falling down, people, and like yard sailing chairs. People coming in and like, you know, they'll suffer in silence. Some people though do not do that. If they're hurt, they are letting everybody. It's just an awful place.
One time, Chalmers, I went to the hospital and there was a family member that had to go and get shit done. And everyone's sitting there in the room and like, what's going to happen? You know, that type of thing. What's going to happen? You know the Wolf family? The family of people from like Ecuador or Chile, I think. And they're
I've heard of them. Yeah.
covered in hair. God bless them. They came through here one time and stayed. So there's like a bunch of these folks live in Edmonton now. And we were in the hospital, we're in the waiting room, and everyone's like, what's going to happen? And the Wolf family came in. One of them had a wolf injury. And they just sat there. And it was the strangest thing I could imagine, sitting there with the Wolf family, and they were tending to their cub. And then we were there doing the same thing. And I was like, what is going on in here?
Yeah, it's a crazy place.
It is a crazy. I felt like I'd fallen into another dimension. All I could see were wolf people.
All right. We got to step aside and take a quick ad break and just digest some of that.
Wolf people?
All right.
You never heard of those guys, Joe?
I have heard of them.
Okay.
Got to give a new sponsor joining us for the summer months here.
The wolf people?
No,
Thank
sadly
God.
not the wolf people. We talked about AMA travel, road trips, all of that.
Yeah.
How about the number one road wolf trip? The number one road trip snack, Wilhock beef jerky.
Delish. If you haven't had
It
it,
can't be beat.
if you ever want to see a product that lives up to the hype, I dare you to go
Yeah.
and eat some of this shit.
Trent
'Cause it
brought
is-
some in, what was that, 2 weeks ago? Just put it on the table and like vultures we attacked.
And I stole a bunch of it and
Like
brought
wolves.
it home.
It's delicious.
So good. It's so good.
It's so good. They have the same recipe, Trent told me. His grandpa thought it up because he found some crazy recipe. They bought this smoker. They've replaced it with the same giant smoker, I think, again. Nothing changes. He's like, I guarantee you that is the same exact thing my grandpa put out. They have one flavor,
Yeah, no, only one.
and it is served fresh.
But then they also now they have the jerky. Then they do like
The garlic sausages.
Yeah,
But there isn't like
Pepperonis?
different jerky flavors. There's
it's
just
jerky.
delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah, one speed.
Leduc,
Delicious.
Spruce Grove. You can also go to willhawkbeefjerky.com. They also have a little kiosk in
West Edmonton Mall. Yep.
That's your spot.
Try
is the
it.
spot.
Let us know if you liked it.
I guarantee you will.
Yeah, 100%.
I wish I had some right now.
That's so good to know. You don't have to like go all the way to Leduc to get
Yeah,
it now.
it's
You
in
can just
West
go to the
I
West.
went to their
Edmonton.
office at one time, Chalmers, and I didn't know like the legend, and I sat there and I was waiting, and like the amount of people that went into that Leduc store.
Oh, yeah.
they're like,
They
"Oh,
move
I
some
drove
jerky.
20 minutes," and then away they go.
yeah.
Like, there's a
They move
reason.
jerky.
They move units.
Also, Me and you went to the game together last night at BM.
Yes.
And we did our best to try and manifest a victory. I know Jay is hurting big time today. I am as well, but the old Betway accounts are a little slim.
Yep, not doing great.
Got over 33.5 shots, though, so we saved ourselves a bit there.
Well, I got a Band-Aid on Chalmers' toe wound. That's what that one is. I went puck line Chalmers. I went money line. I went Connor and Leon both to score. Those are my big plays.
Yeah, I went puck line and second period over did not happen. Second period over happened.
Yeah.
But
I still owe you $25.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to see that money.
Nah, I don't think so, man. What do we think of Steve Staios as our next GM?
I hear that this is happening.
Oh, yeah, it is.
What?
Frank says, like, he was on the DFO rundown today, and he's like, it's not, like, official.
Yeah.
But he said his language is the Oilers are going to be very proactive and protective of Steve Staios. And then you hear other reports that he's, like, top of the list for other GM jobs.
What I heard
connect the
was...
dots.
So where does, like, I know he was GM and junior and all that,
Yeah.
but, like, where has this come up happened? Because when I think of Steve Staios, I think a rimmet around the boards.
You ascend to these roles. You don't you get knighted. Suddenly you are, and before you weren't. But I heard that Uncle Ken wants to boot. He's done at the end of next year.
Yeah, he's got 1 year left, and he does. There was never like a question of like, oh, will he sign another deal to keep being GM here? It's always been like, this is it. So
I don't even think he wanted to sign the deal. He signed to be the GM here.
But they give him $5 million a year, and he was like, shit.
Exactly. So it's the transition that they're worried about. Is it?
Yeah, it's like, okay, so why would you wait for 1 more year and then hire someone who maybe you won't like as much as you like Steve
Staios
Staios?
only arrived last year.
Yeah.
Right? So he's going through the transition process behind the scenes. I
Yep.
get. There's ceremonies. There's knives.
Do we
and
like
swords.
this?
Yes. Steve Staios is the shit.
he's really cool.
On one hand, I'm like a little bit like, are we just gifting the job to a former Oiler for no reason? But then you look around the league and like, it worked for LA, and Calgary's contemplating hiring Craig Conroy. Granted, he's been there for like a decade.
There's a lot
so
of
it's
old
different.
people in ops jobs that'll tell him what to do.
Rod Brindamore got gifted the Canes coaching job, and he does great. And
Steve Staios is cool.
St. Louis and Montreal, same thing. I think it's fine. I'm willing to go into it with an open mind, but I already see Oilers fans on
He was
Twitter.
never the C, was he?
No.
No. He was the captain of Atlanta.
What if he only rewards players who are like him? 8x8 Vinny Desharnais extension.
Yes.
These guys are important.
Well, if you're the GM of the Oilers, I would suggest you look at the lineup that we have, which is pretty fucking good. Don't fuck with
I
it.
actually think it could be a really good thing for the Oilers just to get like a bit of a fresh. I think Ken Holland's built a largely good roster.
I think he did a lot of good jobs on deals this year where people were shitting on him as being an idiot. And
And I know
Klim Kostin, very good.
Ekholm,
Very good. Better
Bukestad?
than EK65, which was my solution.
Bukestad was good. So I think like Holland has built like a largely good roster. McDavid and Draisaitl will give you this great starting point. I actually think like a unique or fresh perspective of Staios coming in could actually be good for them.
The momentum of the Oilers is only in my mind making it a more attractive place to play year after year
Yeah,
after year.
Totally.
Right? They're not burning their goodwill with the league at large, right? It wasn't a Cinderella team that fell to shambles and they can't replace anybody. So Staios doesn't exactly have to come in and like fix any huge problems or some shit. But he's cool. We used to call him Macedonian Steve because his parents are from Macedonia.
All right.
We
If that
did.
doesn't make you GM, what does? Steady Steve?
Steady
What do you call-
Steve.
Wow,
I was
Macedonian
just trying to
Steve.
think of what it was.
We called him Macedonian Steve. Are you wearing your underwear? What's going on there?
Wearing my shorts. Wearing the
Chalmers is
same
wearing
shorts as I was the other day.
People on the
Wearing your
live
underwear.
show, thought Chalmers was just doing the show naked,
Naked.
Naked.
Hey.
just in his boxers.
All right.
Cowboy Chris gets crazy.
I can't believe you wore a cowboy hat to the game. You're committed to the bit. I love it.
It's my playoff thing, man. I love it.
You got to get a nation.
My wife likes it. She doesn't
Patch on
care.
there.
And
You need to nationify that hat.
I could. It should. I tried with one of those oily stickers, but it just kind of.
No, get a patch on there. Glue it.
Yeah, it has to be like.
Or like a metal buckle.
Oh, yeah. Oh, a metal nation buckle.
Or a human tooth.
Whoa. That'd be pretty good.
That'd be
yeah,
gangster.
no,
So what's that tooth about?
I like wearing the cowboy hat to games. It's very Albertan. It's very. I've always liked wearing cowboy hats. I don't know why.
It's cool, man.
My parents saw you at the game. I was talking to them after.
Yeah, thanks. That's awesome because then that's the other thing. It's kind of noticeable in the stands.
Yeah, and my mom was like, I'd be so mad if I had to sit behind him. And I said, no, the first thing he does when he sits down is he makes sure the people behind him are okay.
Yeah, yeah, and I do take it off for quite a bit.
Yeah.
Of the game. But I
he
definitely
starts
ask the people behind me
running
if it's bugging them. But in those seats, the way that Rogers is it does not affect you. Like I'm so much lower than the person above me and the row behind me, so it doesn't bug him. But I got a picture from Alan Kramer who sent me the Vegas Knights celebrating, I don't know, I think goal 4. And I'm right behind on the Twitter, on their Instagram message. Yeah, like me and Aaron just sitting there, and I'm just like, God,
let's see that.
I'll show it to you.
That's funny.
And yeah, I mean, you got to have some for the playoffs. Dressing up for the playoffs, there was a lady in all silver there. Yep. Did you see her painted
she's
up?
at a ton of games.
I saw another guy in a cowboy hat with some flair, 10 pieces of flair on it.
I saw a guy dressed exactly as a police officer.
Yeah. You can't do it for playoffs.
It might have been a police officer.
He even had a gun like John Morant.
Weird, man. John Morant. He knows what he's doing. Get ready to play. Get ready to learn Chinese,
switch,
buddy.
So you have to go back.
Oh. Holy hell. Doyle Brenson's dead.
Oh, boy.
Look, you're all mad. Post that. That's great.
Well, I will. You're
on a podcast that is perpetually in need of content. For fuck's sakes.
And that's why I like the momentum we had. Now it's like brick fucking wall. Well, I don't want to. Let's just say, look, there's things to look forward to.
Like what?
I don't know.
Evan Bouchard's extension.
The sweet release of death. No? Too much?
I'm going to pull my bike out of the shed and go for a nice pedal tonight.
Elderly
buy some
50 Cent is
rollerblades
coming to
and just see where I
town.
go.
That's something to look forward to.
I straight up really want to do that.
Old 50 Cent.
Oh,
I ain't go to that shit.
I got the Nickelback concert in June.
nice. Oh,
I
it
want to
is
go see
really.
Old Fitty.
Do you though?
Yeah,
I don't
he's
know,
swole.
man, because I went to New Kids on the Block Backstreet Boys, NKOTBSB, as we called it. It diminished their legacy. Let me just put it that way.
It didn't diminish their wallet, though.
No, but as a fan of both bands, it was nice to see them in the state they're in. Kevin
Oh,
Boy
Richardson,
band purist.
but Kevin Richardson looked like a crypt keeper.
I want to go see Old 50. I want to go see Old Wu-Tang. I want to see Nas. I want to get my calendar full.
I don't know. I kind of want to see Machine Gun Kelly,
No,
but he can't get into Canada.
That guy's a goof.
Oh my god!
Name 2 good songs.
I don't want to see.
I couldn't name you a single one.
Me neither.
Machine Gun Kelly is an industry plant.
Okay.
He is. And the Megan Fox thing is another industry plant. And why every time those two got together and held hands was that top news industry plant.
I love the clip of Ben Affleck being so annoyed with Jennifer Lopez.
Their marriage
Jennifer
is-
Lopez closing the car door. Did you see it?
Did you see the one
Oh
that
god, it's so funny.
tourists took the next day of them at a light and he's yelling at her and she's yelling at him and shit? Like, it is not going well.
Or are they a real couple?
They're just a real couple, man.
Hey, man.
Yeah, man.
You know,
Listen, they are not a real couple.
we're fighting.
Good Lord. I just wanted 2 more weeks of interesting hockey to talk about. I would have been so fine. People are going to get all over me for this. I would have been so fine if they lost in game 6 of the conference finals. I would have been like, fuck, another good run. Whatever. It's June, baby.
John Moran is a gat.
Yeah. But like fucking second
That's
round.
all I've got to look forward to is the next live video with John Morant and a gun.
Yeah, I have his notifications on. I don't want to miss any of that shit.
What do you think they say to
Lord.
John Morant? What do you think the first team, who contacts him? The coach, president, GM, owner, commissioner David Stern?
Probably his
Nope.
agent to be like, are you
What does he
shitting
say?
me,
What
Jaw?
does he say?
Really?
He says again,
And what does Jaw say?
you're taking money out of both of our pockets, you idiot.
What does Jaw say? Oops.
Oh, he turned the camera?
They're still mad about that?
It's a fake gun.
Oh, you mean I wasn't supposed to have? Oh, yeah.
I thought you just meant in clubs.
He
Yeah.
looks so happy too dancing with it.
Yeah.
Kind of makes me want to dance the gun.
It's the best feeling. A
Okay,
good gun dance.
so
My God.
I use
yeah.
a rifle though. I
It
don't have a
reminds
ha- I don't
me
have a
of
handgun.
I'm watching It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia for the first time. And
On
Frank-
what?
On Disney Plus.
Oh.
Yeah, and Frank Reynolds just once through every few episodes, like he'll just have a gun like tucked into his pants, into his like jean shorts. Fuck, it's funny.
Just like John Morant.
This picture of Ben Affleck with the door thing is excellent, by the way. Chalmers.
it's great.
Is it memeable?
Oh, he's just so
You can
annoyed
I
with
can
her.
meme anything, but
He's
yeah,
just-
you
He
can
opened
see
the door
he's
for it.
And
though.
he
He's a
just
gentleman.
gives that door the extra little freight at the end, just that. This is where I'm over her. This is annoying.
Yeah. You see the one where they're in the club and they have lip readers and she's saying, you're not allowed to drink any booze. And he's like, I'm not drinking. And she drinks his drink, tastes booze. And he's like, Jen. It's funny.
I'm not drinking.
You can see they're like have subtitles. He's like, I'm not drinking. She's like, mm-hmm. And then she takes a sip of it and finds booze. And he's like,
That's funny.
I was Batman.
Yeah.
It is going to be nice to not.
Am I legally allowed to tell my story from yesterday?
What is it?
I told you when you
Oh,
got here.
yeah. Why not?
I'll be
Yeah, I
quick with
think
it.
so.
I don't know.
I had to call 911 for the first time in my
Oh,
life.
yeah. What's that all about?
I was just driving, and there was some crazy dude on the road.
In the nation truck, very
In the
inconspicuous.
nation truck, yeah. Like,
Did that make this happen?
No.
Okay, go on.
this guy definitely didn't know like who I was or whatever. This guy claimed I cut him off. He was in a little Dodge Challenger, started screaming at me.
Did you cut him off?
No, it was a double turning lane.
Yeah.
And I was in the like right hand outside lane. He was on the left inside one, and he tried to turn into my lane and then swerve back into his. So he was trying to like double turn, and I was just driving.
Okay, go on.
So he starts screaming at me, whatever. I'm driving, and we keep going. Go like maybe 800 meters, and I'm like, shit, he's still like speeding up and like pulling up next to me, going behind me. So we got to a light, and this probably wasn't the safest thing to do, but I was in the left-hand lane. The light's red. We're by a business park. So I just like cut across the 3 lanes and turned into the business park, and he stayed with me.
Uh-oh.
So I drove through the business park. He's still on me, screaming at me. I can see him waving his hands behind me.
And this guy's best described as very scary.
Yeah, he looked
No real other way to say it.
It
He
wasn't,
just-
yeah.
How do you look?
Not somebody you mess
His
with.
teeth were all mangled. He was smoking a dart. Like, yeah. So, anyways, I get to another set of lights. I drive through the whole business park. I'll tell you where I was after. I turned right at these lights, and now I'm going down like 127th. Still going. This guy's on me. Get to a red light, and I can't go anywhere. So this guy now pulls up right next to me, window down, and I'm like, he's screaming at me to get out of my truck, get out of my truck, get out of my truck. So
Do
I'm
not
like,
get out of your truck.
and at this point now, like once I turned right and he stayed with me, I was like, I think I have to call 911. Like I've never done it before, but like this seems like a fitting moment to do this.
Yes.
So I call them, and like I'm on the line with them, and this guy's screaming at me, and like I'm rattled.
Put them on the phone with him, eh?
Well, yeah, my heart's going like a million miles an
shit.
hour, and this guy's screaming at me. I'm like, can this light please turn green? I need to start
Is he
driving.
out
again.
of his car?
No. He's just yelling at me, and I'm mouthing to him like I'm sorry. I'm trying to diffuse it. He's not buying it. So I keep going, get to the next set of lights, take a quick right-hand turn. He's on me. We're now going down a road where it's like 3 lanes, like one going each way, then a shared middle lane. He's going in and out of this shared
Drive
middle
to a
lane.
police station would have been my move.
Well, yeah, that's what I wanted to do, but I'm like thinking, I don't know where one's close. I'm on the line with the 911, and they're
What
like,
are they saying?
They're like, what's his license plate? Like, where are you? I don't know my
Could you
street.
get his license plate?
No, because he only stayed
Yeah,
behind me.
yeah.
And I don't know my roads that well in Edmonton.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
like, they're like, where are you? I'm trying to, like, see what this guy's doing, see what road I'm on. I'm telling them, I ended up doing this whole loop, and I'll explain it to you off. We ended up back at the original intersection.
How long did this take to go on?
So it was like 6 minutes of driving with this guy just on me the whole time. And then finally I was able to like cut around a vehicle kind of. So if you saw me in the nation truck driving erratically
With a
on
little
Sunday
car
morning,
behind him yelling.
we were not racing. We were not having fun. I ended up cutting just on the like the curb lane shoulder by a car dealership. And I zipped back onto St. Albert Trail, and this dude stayed there. And the 911 operator was like, "Are you safe?" And I was like, "Well, he's staying at the light, and he's not behind me anymore." And they were like, "Okay, like we'll like send out a note about like this vehicle, and like hope you're okay." And I was like, "Okay, thank you."
People got to chill out when they're driving, man.
Good job, your end check. You kept her cool.
Yeah.
Barely.
Well, he came in here and you could tell he was just buzzing right before the pregame
like-
show. He's like vibrating. He's like, I don't know what just happened, man. I'm like, yeah, that shit'll shake you.
Yeah.
You know?
Proud of me. Now I'm on
'Cause-
the lookout for this guy.
Yeah. And now you're thinking about all the things you're like, I wish I would have done this.
Not really,
Not
because I was
really.
actually really scared of him.
Yeah.
Like if it, yeah. Anyways, that
The fact
was
that he had the presence of mind to keep a dart going throughout.
yeah. At
That
one
ain't
point,
his first pass.
he was like waving his phone like when he was behind me, and I was like, what does that mean? It was
I
scary.
want you to
shit.
follow him back on Insta.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe he was saying, "Hey, you're Chuck. What a great pregame show you're about to go do. Hey,
You're late. You're late.
Hurry.
Hey, I saw your note at 7 a.m. about the pregame
I'll
show.
follow you
Yeah.
to work."
Yeah.
Saw my hard post.
No, he was
What's the
like,
other thing, too,
it's
in like
30
a-
minutes till the show and you haven't sent out a reminder yet.
And like a very clearly like company marked vehicle. There was a party that's like, how insane is this dude?
Crazy.
Like, I don't know. I was scared, but I'm not anymore.
Good.
Yep. So that was my Sunday. Chalmers,
know what you need is a gun.
Chalmers spent half the weekend trying to pull bone out of his foot.
You think
Stop saying
that guy
that.
would have disrespected you if you had a gat in the car? Shit. John Morant dancing in your front seat.
Yeah.
Damn.
Life needs to just slow down.
Yeah, I'm excited for the summer. I feel like everyone's going to be a lot more calm.
Yeah.
Namely
Well,
that man.
I think that this summer,
He was on edge about game 6.
yeah, he was.
I got a bad feeling about tonight. I'm going to kill the nation guy.
I think this summer we should really. I think we really should work on some really fun things that the Nation Real Life can do.
Pickleball.
Yeah.
Mini golf for cash.
Yep.
I've still wanted to do that. I think it's a great
And
idea.
we should incorporate like taking a listener along with us.
we're
to
doing the
every
home
one of
run
these
derby.
things.
Yeah,
we
home
are
run
doing
derby.
that. That is a given. That is happening
I
no matter
cannot
what.
wait to sit in the Nation box and just drink and watch this whole thing happen.
It's going to be awesome. We've got it settled as to like how the BP is going to happen. The bats are going to work.
Surveyor Brett said he might be able to crank it up and do BP for us. Says he hasn't thrown in a while, but he says it's probably like riding a
Well,
bike.
we're going to need him to show up to one of my baseball practices and give me a little tryout because we're not going to be wasting time here having him show up and then he's throwing muffins at 35 that nobody can hit out of the park.
Yep.
We need to make sure he's between 50 and 55 and can get it over the plate. Because the longer it goes before he gets one over the plate, the more he will complain that he's getting tired and nothing to hit.
Hear that, Brett?
We just need a pitching machine.
So, yeah, that's what I said. But it's a pitching machine, but we think we can do it with somebody really good doing BP.
Yeah, I think timing-wise, you want someone just throwing.
I think
it's
you
way
do too.
easier to like time because you can see the arm when it's releasing versus like a pitching machine where it's just coming at you.
You don't know when it's coming, and you can't react to it until you actually see the ball leave the machine. Where when a BP pitcher holds the ball up, you know, okay, it's coming. You know what I mean?
All right.
So
Just trying to get the details ironed out here.
I'm starting to wonder if I'm wrong and he can do it.
I think he can with a metal bat. As soon as you guys
And
said metal bat, I
Metal
think, yeah.
bats making me
So
question
we've
myself,
gone
yeah.
into the U13 fields these days, and I hit fly balls to the kids from home, but I don't do it with a full swing because that would definitely clear those U13 fences. So I do it with one hand. Just like throw the ball up one hand with a bat. I put a couple out
That's what I mean. Like
with
How
a
far is
metal
it?
bat.
How far is it?
I don't know.
Probably like 240.
Probably like 240, 250.
that's what I mean. Like when you guys changed it to a metal bat, that's when my opinion changed. Like, oh, you're
Yeah.
gonna hit it out.
I don't know. I don't know what
Not
to
over
expect.
the green monster.
This is like the age
I think
old.
he will. I
This
think
is
he
like
will.
the age old bet. So we have a friend who is Mike Fugelberg, one of the really good BMX bike rider, right? Like he raced BMX. He's really fast. And then we have a friend who has Strava records in 10 speed, right?
Yeah.
They had a bet as to who would win in a race from the length of a hockey arena, like a hockey rink, from boards to boards the long way.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the smaller wheelbase on the BMX is going to give you that bigger start, right? It's hard to get the big 10 speed going. We told him he couldn't use gears. He had to keep it in the middle gear. So he can't gear down, gear up, gear up, gear up, gear up. He has to just stay in one gear. The bigger wheelbase is going to give you speed over time once you get up to that time, and it's going to be harder to keep the BMX going the full distance at the high rate of speed. Mm-hmm. What do you think? That's so stupid. These are the type of things we talk about when we're having beers.
Well, that's why buddy bets are the best.
The best.
I would give it to the mountain bike still.
It's a 10 speed.
Yeah,
Thin tire.
I would say the 10 speed. I'm just thinking Donkey Kong when I play Mario Kart.
Okay.
Maybe it takes a little bit to get the big man moving, but then once he's going training,
I figure that I'll figure that the BMX will be at center by the time the 10 speed is between the ringette line and the blue line. And so that means he has to make up that amount of space. That's just,
Yeah, that's too much to make up.
it's a lot to make up, but that's what I think is going to happen. We still need to do it. This is like a 2-year-old.
Oh, it hasn't been done?
No, it hasn't been done.
I thought we were going to get an answer here.
Yeah, I thought you were like, then we did the race.
No, we should set that up too.
See, your Amtrak, you're worried about running out of things to talk about. Look at all the things we could be doing.
Yeah, that's fair.
We could just run some scenarios.
What else you want on the real life fun summer?
Oh, I love mini golf.
Playlist.
I love pickleball. I like
I want us to go real golfing together.
real golf.
We'll
Oh,
have the
real
Oilers
golfing for
Nation
sure.
open too at some point, I guess, right? Probably. Maybe.
We should do a day drunk pub golf.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Oh my god.
Start at 11 on a Saturday.
No, on like a Thursday.
Work day for sure. Burn it. Exactly.
It is work.
We'll say it's inclusive training of
Maybe some darts, 10 beer deep darts.
Trip darts
Smokes
don't
or
count?
actual darts?
No, both. Actual
Yeah,
darts.
both?
What?
Beer darts. Oh my God. So ever since we've been talking about beer darts on this, I saw an invention. A guy actually made like beer dart holders that hold darts and like open the can and like do all these different things. And I was like, this guy's a genius. If that becomes like a pickleball style game where people actually, it's just like cornhole where everybody has one at the lake, guy's going to make a lot of
We
money.
could do company-wide beer Olympics. That'd probably create some interesting
What's that
content.
game called where you put like a ski pole in the ground and then a
Beersby.
beer? Yeah.
Beersby.
And you can try to
great.
catch the can if it falls off.
Yep.
That's a fun one. So I have another game where you put like a 12-inch garbage can in front, in like where that would be, and you throw a frisbee at it. And if your player knocks it in with their hand, it's like it's a point. Yeah. If the frisbee just goes straight in, it's like 2 points. If they hit the bucket, it's 1 point.
Okay.
No, hit the bucket 1, knock it in 2,
Straight in.
straight in 3. If you miss, I don't think it's anything.
If you miss, you drink, I think.
I think you do. I think you drink. It's another fun game.
Okay.
So we got a bunch of summer activities.
We got a lot of stuff to do.
We'll do a lot.
All right.
You know what? Fuck hockey. I didn't even want to watch hockey anyways anymore.
I wanna go
I just
hang
wanted
out
to
in
get
garden
to
with
this
you.
stuff.
I want to go watch your peas grow.
Yeah.
I'll be waving a gun, Chalmers gardening.
The day they start grabbing onto that trellis, boy, well, it's going to be exciting.
Before we wrap up this episode of the pod, got to give a shout out to Oodle Noodle, where you can pick up Oilers Nation stickers still, right?
Oh, yeah.
Just because the season's over doesn't mean we stop supporting Oodle Noodle and the Oilers Nation stickers. Come on.
I could use a wonton soup today, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, you were going at it last night.
You know what? It's last.
We got free shots
We did get
and free
shots.
dessert.
and free cake.
Shout
yeah.
out to Bill.
Yep.
So there you go. It was a good night.
Like it was on the bill.
It was not on the bill. I
Oh,
looked.
God.
I
It was
double checked because I thought
A
they were going
listener
to
named
bamboozle
Bill?
me.
a guy named Bill bought us dessert.
Did he know who you were, or was
Yeah.
he trying to make a move? Because a gentleman
No,
sending
you
over
were like-
cheesecake in my day meant there was more than a
This was
sly
a
wink.
tiramisu.
It was lovely. It was really nice.
Yeah. Anyways, that's a wrap on this week's
Paired with
edition of
my
the pod.
third double Caesar quite nicely.
Tiramisu and Caesars. You sold out.
Yeah.
You used to be hood. Now you're gentrified.
This episode of the podcast brought to you by AMA Travel is all wrapped up. We'll chat again on Thursday.
Free